Hi, my name is Hutton, and I will show you a demonstration of the emergency department simulation. First, we will create a new simulation by scratch. We should bring you to this page, which you can see all the past simulations, and create a new simulation here on top. We're going to name this one Demo. Then we're going to click on Create and Configure. Here, we'll bring you to a page we can set all the different parameters of the simulation. First, we have fill injuries, which basically means what's the percentage of beds you want to have filled at the beginning. So if you set it to 90, 90% of the beds will be filled at the beginning of the simulation. Preload waiting room patients, how many patients do you want in the waiting room at the beginning? Let's set that to 7. You can also set how many doctors, triage nurses, or bedside nurses we want in the simulation. We're going to keep these values as set for now. You have patient rate modifier, which affects how many patients are coming into the simulation per hour. So 0.5 means 0.5 of the patient's rate would be decreased, or like 0.5 of the patients, let's say it's 100 patients coming in per hour, maybe 50 now, and that'll be based on the data that was already inserted before. The priority factor, we set that to 10, which says what does like a CTAS score have effect on priority, or like the priority of care that we get. So if higher, that means like CTAS 1 will have higher priority, or like there's a factor of CTAS 1s, or like compared to like CTAS 5, like affects how much like the priority of care. Do you have testing time, which says like how long does testing take for each patient? Then the result time, which says how long does a result from testing usually take? Do you have patient threshold? That's not important for us. Do you have random seed? We set it to 55, which basically means you have 2 different simulations with the same seed. The random elements will be the same between the two. So if you want to compare 2 simulations, the seed should be the same. They have patient walkout probability, which is like the probability of a patient walking out from an ED at any time. Then the patient walkout check is basically the interval of a patient would check if they should leave the ED. Then you have the discharge linger probability, the probability of a patient staying after they've been discharged from the ED. Then how long they will stay after ED from here. They also simulate the hospital admission. Then we set the minimum and the max for the admission, but we're going to set that for no for now. Then you can set the different map layouts for the ED. So we have 3 right here, from the foothills, rocky view, and the small. The small is more of a testing environment to test out the simulation. So we're just going to keep our foothills for now. And if you create your own map, you can import your map right here and select it from the drop-down menu here. So once you got all configured, you can start the simulation. Depending on the size of the simulation, it may take longer or smaller. And we see it's pretty empty at the moment. That's because we haven't ran the simulation. Once you start running it, it's going to load up all the patients and staff that we set. So if I set for 1 minute, it will start running. And this is going to take a little bit of time. Usually the first run on a new simulation takes quite a bit. So I'll come back when it's all done. After running for 1 minute, we can see all the patients are now loaded in, along with the bedside nurses, doctors, and triage nurses. But after running from that 1 minute, we can also set it. You can also run another 1 minute if you want to. And it'll take some time, obviously, again, but we should be able to see it moving in a couple seconds here. Then they scroll down, we can see all the patients, all the different bedside nurses, triage nurses, all the different doctors. See the patients, triage, bedside. Then just go back to the top here. Hopefully we can see the simulation move. Yeah, we can just move a little bit there. I won't let this run for much longer because we can go back and check out another simulation that we have saved. If you go back to this page, you can find all the previous simulations that you have ran. including the demo that we just ran. We can run it again from where we left, a demo, which is basically a more visually appealing version of the simulation, export it if you want to share with other people, rename, and you can delete it permanently. But no data because we didn't properly save it and the simulation didn't go long enough, so it's not really good data to collect from this demo. But I ran one previously where you can view the data, but first we're going to view just running it from this demo. And this is going to take a couple seconds, so I'll come back when it's done. Now that it's done loading in, we can see it's much less busier, but that's because of the parameters I picked. But you can set it to run for another minute for existence. And we can basically start off where the simulation ended. If we go to the bottom, we can find our agents here again. So you have Dr. 1, but we'll just see, moving around, you can run it. If you go to Dr. 1 here, we can find all the different doctors did throughout its lifespan of the simulation. At the bottom, you see all the different conversations and the kind of more high level type of conversations that they had. So you can see that. You go back here. You go back and see all the simulation again. If you click on save and set down, you can go back to the simulations here. Then go back to good demo. We also have a demo option, which gives a more visually appealing showcase of the simulation that you run. Then we can start, which might take a few seconds once again. I'll come back when it's done. Now that we have the demo running and loaded, we can see it's more visually appealing with the patients moving in a more linear path and much easier. Then down here, we can see all the different agents that we have. If you click on them, you can see the state that they're in, location. Same with the bedside nurse, you can see what they're doing at the current time. And the doctor, you can see what they're doing, see what patients they're looking at. Which is pretty much all for the demo part. And if you go back here, back to the simulations, we can see the data that's been generated by the simulation, all in the different graphs. And here we can see the different stages that the patient's been through, and the graphs are separated by CTAS score. So these graphs represent the wait times of patients in arrival to PA time. So CTAS 1, CTAS 2, 3, 4, and 5. And if you use your arrow keys, you can see the different stages of the patients and the wait times. So the next one is PA to disposition, then PA to leave. Then back to the first one, which is all the graphs you can see here. Then you can view the raw data using that button right here, which is you can see all the exact numbers we got it from our simulation. Then you can also download the CSV file if you so want to. And also download the charts if you want to save it as a PNG for all these charts you see here. Then back to simulations. You can also export it, which basically is exported as a zip file, which you can send to other people, so they can also run the simulations if they want imported right here. Then you can rename, then delete it if you don't need it anymore. So let's take out a demo right here. We can simply just delete it and it's gone. Then if you go to live map, we can just click on this. Basically starts another simulation. You can see the live map. I'll come back when this is done loading. And see, this brings you back to this page right here. And you can see the live map right here, how many minutes you want to run. I forgot to mention, you also enter custom commands, which you can click on this question mark here, which pulls up this window, which shows all the commands you can put into the simulation. So if you want to actually properly save it, you can do fin, which saves it, or you can click on save it and simulation here and properly saves it. I also mentioned something about creating your own maps and modifying the maps. So this is the tout software I was talking about. And in here, you can edit all the different zones, the injury zones, say the trauma zone right here, major injury zones, minor injury zones, diagnosis right here, triage, waiting room. And in here, you can just edit whatever you want. So you can see that in the floor, more used to what we're seeing. Then you can save it. You can just save it and grab the JSON file that this exports and simply import it into the simulation on the configurations page. And if you go back to this page, we can find a demo that you just ran here, which you can run it again. You can start where you left off. A demo of it, you can export it, rename it, and delete. Since we didn't properly save it, we don't have any data for it. But if you go to this demo I ran previously, we can run it again, like I said. We click on that. It may take a little bit, so I'll come back when it's done. That's all I have for this demonstration. So thank you for watching this demo, and hopefully you found this video to be useful to running the simulation.